Welcome to Geppe's Pod, where we talk fashion, beauty, and lifestyle with a foundation in business, character development, and leadership. We will be learning from industry experts, hearing their stories, while taking action as we stand on the shoulders of giants. Hello, everyone. My name is Giuseppe Almeida, and I am the founder and CEO of Perfit. And I just want to welcome you to Geppe's Pod. Today, we have an amazing guest. Her name is Stephanie Seiffert, and she is a model from Germany. She divides her time from Germany and Cape Town. She has been published in Vogue Germany. She had Madame, AD Magazine, Quest, and Gala. We are so excited to have Stephanie here. Stephanie, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. It's very exciting for me. Normally, it's just about our look when you work as a model, and you gave me a voice, and that's very new to me.
Well, thank you for taking the opportunity. I think that one of the cool things that we do over here at Perfit is tell the story of you and of our guests. And I'm really excited to learn from you, see the kind of things that you've experienced in your modeling career, how you've diversified within the modeling career, as well as just really delving into the ups and downs of your own personal life. Because I know that we as leaders and as people would love to learn how you have been able to get to where you are today and what it took to get there. So let's get started. Okay. What was the journey that got you to where you are today? How did you get started?
Yes, I mean, it's actually, it's hard to say when or where my journey started, because I would say, if you ask me a question like this, it started when I was very young, and my mother, she gives me mostly clothes I didn't like, and also the other kids also in kindergarten started to whisper sometimes, because my clothes were really very ugly. And so if you would have told me when I was a small child that I would work as a model, I would never ever believe you. I would laugh, and I really didn't thought that I was pretty. So I think the journey started when I decided to earn my own money, because my mother didn't understand me, that I want really clothes that I like, that I feel comfortable in my own skin, and can find myself in my clothes. And so I started very early to earn my own money, and bought me my first beautiful clothes. And it really changed the world for me, because I was very shy, and if someone wanted to take a picture of me, I would hide myself, because I really didn't like it. And yes, then with my new clothes, it was a different life. I started to feel comfortable. I was much more lucky. I can't really find the right words before that. I think in English you say fine feathers make fine people, or something like this. Is correct?
I don't know the saying, but I am curious. What about the clothing itself actually made you more comfortable and allowed you to show up as you are? I think that's kind of where I'm more curious, because I think the outer layer of like your face structure, the way that you're symmetrical, how you show up, it's always been there. But then there was a change when you started to buy your own clothing and you started to feel comfortable within that clothing.
Yes.
What about that new clothing made you freer to show up as yourself?
Yeah, because if you don't, if you, as an outsider, if you hear that, it's maybe it sounds like I'm just after clothes with brand names and stuff like this, but it was really not pretty what my mom gave to me. And imagine you enter a room and you just have the wish that nobody can see you. And when kids in the age of 4 or 5 in the kindergarten started to speak, started to ask you, why are you wearing always that ugly clothes? And you feel the same, and feel like, oh shit, I'm ugly, because in this young age I didn't understand it's just the clothes. And if you really hate what you wear, what you are wearing, you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel like I don't know, it gives you some energy if you feel really good in what you are wearing, and and everything goes better then. Really, it is like this, because
Yeah.
if you don't feel good, then you have a bad start.
You know what? I understand the fact that it gives you confidence, right? When you put on a great shirt and you put on just perfect fitting pants and you walk out the door just feeling like $1,000,000. And when you take that and then do the opposite, you don't feel good in your shirt, you don't feel good in your pants, you don't feel good in your sweater. And then there's on top of that added pressure of kids telling you that doesn't look good. At a 4 or 5-year-old state, like you said, it starts to beat you up. It starts to tell you that you're ugly. It starts to tell you that you're not worthy. So when you started making your own money, what were one of the first pieces of garments that you took and you're like, okay, this is for me. I'm buying this for me. Do you remember what they were and how they made you feel?
Of course, I totally remember. I had this white shirt, and this shirt was so uncomfortable, but it looked very good. And this gray jeans, and it was written gray A on the breast, but it was so pretty. And then also the other kids and everybody saw me different, because then it stopped that they questioned me, because why do you have this ugly clothes? That of this, they came to me, running after me. Hey, where did you get this beautiful jeans? And can we go shopping sometimes? And it changed completely. I was always watched because my clothes were so ugly that the whole school recognized that. It's not, yeah. Sometimes even at my second school, there was a girl, and she asked me after, I don't know, 2 years or something like this, I still remember you wearing always this ugly clothes. And she was also asking me what happened, because my change was huge.
So you had a huge glow up. And about what ages was this glow up for you?
11.
11. Okay. So then you started earning your own money. and you started maneuvering yourself differently through this. You became more confident. You became be able to stand up for yourself. You started to see yourself in a different light. How did you actually get started into the modeling world, especially when everything at the beginning was a little bit rough? How did you get started with modeling, and then how did you take that and make it into a career for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, when I started to wear this clothes, there were also a lot of people. They made me some compliments, and it felt really very good. And then I recognized, okay, I can't be so ugly than I thought I would be. I'm actually don't looking bad. And then in the age of 16, I guess, there was a photographer and he wanted to take some pictures of me. And then he recommended to me that there was a modeling online website. Yeah, and there I actually started, and 90% of the questions I got there were more, how do you say in English? Yeah, it was more dubious booking requests,
Okay.
but there were also some good first jobs for me, and it got me my foot in the door to work as a model into the model world.
When you were able to maneuver yourself through that and started being okay, well, taking the jobs that actually were good for you, how how were you able to do that? Did you have the backing of your family? Did you just go and kind of just decide this is where I'm going to be? How were you able to maneuver your way through that properly without getting sucked into to the maliciousness and malevolence of a bad industry?
Yeah, I did it all on my own. I didn't speak with anybody. I mean, sometimes I just told my mother, I'm going to a shooting now, and that was it. And she was, yeah, but we didn't talk about where I'm going or with who, or I just decided on my own if I'm doing it or not. I don't feel comfortable with doing it, but it's
Hmm.
very in this age to decide who can you trust and who not, and especially if there are so many yeah,
Yeah.
ugly requests.
Yeah, for sure. Like I'm really proud of you for being able to stand up for yourself, to not be pressured into doing things that you don't want to do, to making sure that you stayed on the path that you wanted. But what gave you the strength to actually stay strong in those situations, to not choose something that's bad for you? Because
I don't know. It was not a question for me. It's just simply a no.
that's so amazing though, because not a lot of people get that, right? So you've built up this strength, you've built up these abilities to stand up for yourself, you've built up these abilities to make sure that you're on the straight and narrow. You finally get your first couple jobs, you're 16, 17, 18, 19. When did you start thinking, okay, this is actually going to be a career for me, I can do this full time?
Um, when I turned 22, I started to work as a full-time model, but actually also then I didn't thought that I can really live for my whole life, or I don't know how long, but I didn't thought, okay, I can really live from this. It was more that I thought, okay, what can I do? And this was the best thing what I could do. And also I always wanted to travel a lot and see a lot more of the world, because I'm coming from a small town, and I just wanted to see a lot. And with the modeling, you can see a lot, and you can meet always different peoples, and yeah, that's why I decided to do it.
So you took on this sense of adventure. You were able to say, okay, I'm gonna go and do it. I'm gonna figure it out. Once you figured it out, once you were at that space that, yes, I'm here, I'm doing this, this is gonna be so much fun. What were some of the jobs that solidified you to being, okay, you know what? I can actually do this as a model full time. This is really, really, really cool. Were there any like aha moments for you that like that gave you that confidence? Okay, this because of this job, I know that I can be a model full time.
I wouldn't say that. They all made me a lot of fun, and I liked it very much. So it was a dream, but I just tried it. I didn't thought I could really live this dream. I
Mhm.
just tried it.
That's so awesome. Was it scary when you were pursuing it? Did you have any fear, or did you just go in eyes closed, head first, and jump right in?
More jump right in, but of course, to being self-employer, I think is for everyone very scary in the beginning, especially. But if you believe in yourself, and you have a little bit of faith, and yeah, then I think you just have to try it. And I'm very lucky that I tried it.
Yeah, that's amazing. What have been your favorite moments while you're journeying through your modeling career that you're like you step back and just can't believe that you actually had the opportunity of doing it, of doing that job, of traveling that to that place, of experiencing that. Do you have any incredible stories of, wow, I can't believe I did this?
Mm, there are a lot of beautiful things, but for me, in Cape Town, when I was in Cape Town the last weeks, it was very special to had a shooting with a cheetah. Do you know what a cheetah is?
Yeah, oh yeah, the animal. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was very exciting because I love, this is the most beautiful animal for me, and it was scary in the beginning as well, but it was so impressive to shoot with a wild animal
Yeah.
like. Mhm.
Was it
So
a baby cheetah or was it a full grown cheetah?
a full ground, yeah.
Oh, that is so scary. How
Yeah,
did that all happen for you?
we were there with a big team, and we were a lot of models, and I was the first model. So
Mhm,
I couldn't ask the other models how was it. I
mhm.
was really first, and it was really crazy because there was one guide, and he had to look if everything is right and the cheetah don't eat me.
Yeah.
And yeah, we had the shooting, and the cheetah turned around to me, and he was taking my arm in the mouth, but he
Oh,
didn't bite it. It was just completely in his mouth, and nobody but me could see it. So the guide wouldn't have seen it because he was behind the cheetah. It
whoa.
was really, really, really scary, but still amazing. I would do it again.
Really? So okay, so just so that I have the right context, this cheetah was a wild cheetah?
Yes. I mean, no,
It
not
it, it wasn't
it. a
captivity.
wild animal. It's not a wild cheetah, of course.
Okay. I'm like you found this cheetah in the safari and you're like, you know what? Let's just take some pictures with it.
Let's take a picture.
Okay. I was
No,
so
I'm
like,
not
wow.
crazy.
Okay, okay. I was wondering, like, what is going on? How did you do this? I'm like, Stephanie, you're fearless. So, okay.
Fearless, but not crazy.
There is two completely different
Yeah.
states of mind. So now that you're here, okay, you've been in the business for, I do believe, 12 years. What have been 13 years? What have been some of the greatest accomplishments, and what have been some of the lowest lows, and how did you get through those lowest lows?
I mean, as a model, of course, you have ups and downs, and especially there's no permanent income. So you have sometimes times where you don't earn money, and then you have times then you earn a lot of money.
Mhm.
And if you have the time that you don't earn money, of course, it's very hard because I mean, I'm working as a model since over 13 years now, and it's still, if there's a time where I don't have a lot of bookings, it's still bothering me. But of course, you get a little bit more confident with it, because then you think, okay, I mean, it's not new to you. It's like this for over 13 years. But you do never know if the time is maybe over for you.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, sometimes it's also the question, is your type demand? Because, for example, now is the time of diversity. And also mixed race people are working mostly better than the normal blondes, I would say. Yeah. So you always have different times. For example, thick eyebrows are now requested, or thin, and it's you can never know what brings the next time with you.
When you go in for a casting call,
Yeah.
how do you stand apart from your competition, and how do you know that, okay, I'm gonna give it my best? How do you get prepared for that casting call?
Wow. Okay. I'm so used to doing castings. I just go to the castings. But if you are new in the model world, of course, it's better to practice your instruction, for example, in front of the mirror, or do something like this.
Okay. Have you ever had an experience while you're at a casting call that it just went so beautiful and it was just so smooth, and you just like, you knew that you got it? And what was that casting call, and how did that make you feel?
Yeah, the funny thing is mostly when I do a lot to get the job, then it doesn't work out. And often when I just went to a casting and didn't have a look what for the casting is really, I got often the job. It's actually very crazy. For example, I had once a casting, and I did know I had to play a surfer woman, and but it was for I don't remember, but it was for how do you say it in English? Electronic pieces. So where you can buy a lot of electronic pieces.
Okay. Okay. An electronic store?
Yeah, it's like a store for electronic.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, online store for
Okay.
electronic. And I just know I have to play a surf girl, and then in the casting he asked me what I want to order, and I did say a surfboard. And it was not even close to something that I could order with them, and
Yeah.
I got a job. So sometimes you just don't know it.
Yeah.
It feels like, oh my God, what have I done? And then you got the job.
So you've never, it's never a go in, you've got this, it's always a toss up. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. I get that. Um,
I mean, it's also a lot of luck.
mhm.
If they just remember you, maybe because of a surfboard
Yeah.
or something like this, then it's not, of course, better than you were like everybody. And I mean, they often see, I don't know how many people, 100, 1000,
Yeah.
more, and it's like playing lotto.
No, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is that you've created a winning ticket. You know, you've been in the industry for over 13 years. You've been able to do this, time and time again. You're not just uh you're not just doing this, part-time. This is what you do. And one of the things that I'm trying to figure out is, not only do you have your modeling, but you also have your influence through Instagram. And I'm curious, how were you able to grow your following? What were the things that your followers really like about you, that you make sure that you offer your followers? Let's start with those two questions. How did you grow your following to begin with?
It's very, very hard to grow the following, but yeah, I mean, of course, you have to do it constantly, and I think you have to be very honest with them, take this very seriously.
Mm.
And of course, if it's a little bit more personal, then I think it's much more interesting for the followers. But for me, I had my problems at the beginning with Instagram, because it's very personal. And for
Mhm.
example, when someone booked me for a beauty job, and it's a commercial for a cream, then
Mhm.
it's clear, okay, I get paid for making this commercial for this cream. But if I recommend something on Instagram, then I have to make really sure that I really, really like this cream.
Mhm.
And I really, it has to be completely honest,
Mhm.
because it's so personal, and it's a recommendation.
Mhm.
Uh, and if someone follows me, I appreciate it very much, and I don't want to sell him a cream I would never use on my own.
Mhm.
This is very important.
For sure. So how do you maneuver your way through the brands that you want to endorse on social media, and then the ones that you get hired for modeling? Because you have more, um you have more say when it's social media and somebody books you personally for this, rather than when an agency, like, are you signed to an agency?
Yes.
Yeah, so when an agency says, okay, go over here, get this job, here you are, you don't really have much say on the jobs you get booked for by the agency, but you have a lot of say on jobs that you get booked for on social media. So how do you maneuver that, and how do you stay true to yourself on both ends?
Oh, it's not so easy. I mean, it's challenging actually every day, because you always have to find your way
Mhm,
doing both. But it's very important to work also on social media and Instagram as a model, because also this has changed a lot. Because in the beginning, when I started to work as a model, it was more about the look. If you are really, if you have the thing to work to really good as a model. But now it's more about the followers often.
mhm.
Also in this part, it changed a lot about the last years. But yeah, it's it's also actually a great chance to do some networking on Instagram, and it's advertising for yourself, and you can show who you are. And for a lot of customers have also a look on the Instagram page, and then you can show much more than sending just pictures to agencies and they upload what they want. But if the Instagram page, you get a really good idea who is Stephanie Seiffert?
Yeah, exactly. W- When you were trying to figure out who is Stephanie Seiffert on social media, what were the ups and downs of that process? Because I'm sure trying to figure out your following, trying to figure out how do you present yourself in a way that allows you to advertise the best version of Stephanie to on social media is difficult. What were the either the criteria or the steps that you went through in order to be like, okay, this is the Stephanie that I can be 100% authentic with. This is the Stephanie that I can show up and be myself with. This is the Stephanie that I want people to know and love. How were you able to maneuver through that the hurdles of social media?
Yeah, you just have to have a lot of ideas, or you can have a look on other pages what they do. But I think it's always better to find your own ideas, because
Mhm,
then it's really, really you. And yeah, it's I mean, it's really hard to grow on Instagram, especially when you didn't take it seriously in the beginning, like me.
mhm.
You were very late, but it's worth to try it, because I mean, it's hard to show every day the people what you do.
Mhm,
Also, if you are not in the moon to do it, you actually have to have every day something in your story,
mhm.
and always have to have new pictures, new reels, and it's a lot of work behind this. It's
An extraordinary amount of work.
huge. Yeah, it's huge. And but yeah, it's also actually a good practice. For example, for me, I wasn't so used to speak a lot, and now then I'm speak more often, much more often than before. Before it was more by castings or maybe a TV commercial, but
Mhm,
not that often. It was more pictures, and now of course, it's also pictures, but I speak so much more often that it's much more easier than in the beginning. When I scrolled down to my first reel, where I had a voiceover, oh my God. Don't do it, don't do it. It's a secret just between us, huh?
That sounds good. I'm totally gonna check it out. I can't wait. No, you know what? It's the same thing, especially because like we are new. So we're trying to figure out the space and try to figure out how do we build community? Because that's honestly the biggest thing that you can do for your followers is build a community so that they can not only be a part of your journey, but they can also be able to connect with each other in a way that they're able to mobilize. You know, one of the things that I really admire about Taylor Swift or Beyonce is the fact that their followers, their fans, are so committed to them. And I'm curious, what have you done to create that sense of community for your followers? Because your followers are very active. They are constantly liking what you do. They're encouraging. They're able to have some mobilization over your social media. So I'm curious, how have you been able to cultivate that community for yourself?
Ah, I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I've done all the things what I told you, and also it's very good if, I mean, if it's often this way, if you like a post and the guy or the woman likes your next post, but of course that takes a lot of time.
Mhm,
The same is with comments, but yeah, just you always have to think about what could be interested to the other people. For
mhm,
example, a lot of people, I did make a lot of stories about my Airbnb I bought in Cape Town a few weeks ago. And this was very interesting for a lot of people. A lot of people was writing me, hey, such a great idea, and or I want to do the same. Have you some recommendations for me and stuff like this? Just think about what are you doing and what could help maybe other people's
mhm,
to do the same, or they can maybe learn from my mistakes, or they see what I'm doing to have more success, and they could try the same.
mhm,
So think about what you know, and what can be interesting for other people, what can you do for other people.
mhm. No, that's a great, great piece of advice. It's not so much of how can I show up and how can I impress people. It's how can I fill them with something that is valuable? How can I give them value? How can I help them out?
Exactly.
How can I be of service rather than have them just look at me? And I 100% agree with that. Um, I know we're starting to get to closer to the end with you, but I am curious. I asked most of my guests this, and I'm wondering what you would say to yourself because you've had a very interesting life. So if you could give yourself one piece of advice back to your 22-year-old self, what would that piece of advice be?
uh, I would actually, when I started to work as a model, as a full-time model, I would go in abroad directly when I started to do it full-time. And I would do it for a whole year. And yeah, and to build up my book completely in abroad, to see a lot, and this would I change, um, and yeah, taking Instagram seriously a lot more earlier than I did, and use it really for you. This is very important. But actually, the most things I can say, I would actually do the same like I did.
That's so awesome. So where is abroad for you? Because you're in Germany, so I'm in Canada, so that is abroad. So where is abroad for you? Where would you have gone to the States? Would you have gone to Italy, Paris? Where's abroad?
Everywhere actually. Abroad is abroad. So everywhere and you see a lot different lifestyle where you can speak English and or other languages, of course. And this is abroad for me.
Okay.
And I mean, I also did it in the beginning, but it wasn't such a good experience for me because the agency was just not good. And so I stopped doing it much too. Yeah, and this is what I think. Oh shit, I should try have tried it so much more often.
So have you always been with the same agency, or how many times have you changed your agencies?
I did change my agency.
Okay. Nice. So now that you're here, I know that you've been doing some real estate investing. You also, I do believe you're also a realtor yourself. You sell real estate too.
Exactly.
With having the modeling, with having the real estate, and now getting into Airbnb rentals in Cape Town, where do you see yourself the next 5 years?
Yeah, that's hard to say because yeah, I'm open for a lot of things. I could also imagine to immigrating.
Okay.
Because I don't like the winter in Germany. It's much too cold for me. And it's so gray in the winter. It's like the half year, it's wasting time. So, but yes, I don't know. I will see. That's also a great thing when you work as a model, because everything is so I can't say the word. It's not a way so that you can plan everything. It's more spontaneously.
Spontaneous.
No, I was very close.
Yes.
No, yeah, and like I said, you never know if your type of model is demand in the future. So I will see. We will see.
Okay. How would you define success for yourself?
Define. When you are lucky and you have enough money that you don't have to worry about that you will once not have enough money to buy you something to eat, or you just really can live from it. That is successful if it is enough for you.
Okay, excellent. With that being said, I think that we've reached our end of the podcast. I want to thank you so much. I think that you've done a fantastic job today. So thank you so much for giving me your time, and I appreciate your story. I think that a lot of people were able to get a lot from it. I think the first thing that people are able to get from the podcast is the fact that in order to get what you want, you need to go for it. Don't be afraid to just jump and do it. Secondly, make sure that that you don't compromise yourself. You could have compromised yourself. You could have gone down a really bad path, but instead you're like, no, I'm going to stay true to who I am. I'm not going to chase money. I'm going to chase my dream. And that's what you did. And I want to commend you on that. The third thing that you were able to do that I thought was actually really, really amazing was the fact that not only were you able to stay true to your dream, but at the same time, you're like, you know what? I want to be able to learn how to create something out of social media, and I want to be able to also figure out how to give myself another option just in case. And you became a realtor, and now you're modeling for full time. You do realty, and you do Airbnb investments. Creating different lines, different streams of revenue is super, super important. So I want to commend you on that. And then lastly, I think one of the things that you said, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is not necessarily planning for the next 5 years, but being more spontaneous to see what the world brings to you, because that's the spice of life. So I want to say thank you for that, because you did an incredible job, and I really, really think that everybody's going to love learning about who Stephanie is, and knowing and growing with you as you continue in your career.
Thank you very much. It was really a pleasure with you.
Thank you so much, and I'll let you get back to it. Thank you for listening to Geppe's Pod. Make sure to share, like, and subscribe. We thrive from your feedback. Please let us know what you thought of our guest and this episode. From all of us at Perfit, see you next time.